understanding of environmental and animal issues.
She comes back here every once in a while to study our primates at the Portland Zoo and also gives some suggestions, which they take seriously.
It's fun to watch. Thanks for watching us. We'll see you again for the news at 6.
Blame and default. The showdown between President Clinton and the Republican Congress over the budget heads for an imminent shutdown of the U.S. government for lack of funds. Yet again, sexual harassment in the military. This time, a Navy woman allegedly assaulted by her superior on a jetliner while other sailors did nothing to stop it. And those TV talk shows under attack, this time by TV executives who say enough is enough.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. There's no end in sight tonight to the still escalating U.S. budget showdown. The U.S. government may have to start shutting down for lack of funds Monday night. President Clinton says he would rather have that happen than sign what he considers to be a radical Republican stopgap spending bill loaded with conditions he will not accept. Two of our veteran correspondents, Rita Braver at the White House and Bob Schieffer on Capitol Hill, join us now to give background and perspective on this latest budget showdown. Bob?
Dan, this is one of the nastiest and most complicated fights ever. What the Republicans are trying to do is get the president to accept spending cuts and some of their pet projects, like shutting down the Commerce Department, before they will agree to let the government borrow the money it needs to keep operating. It's become a real game of chicken.
And the administration is not backing down, claiming that the president won't be blackmailed, that he'll issue vetoes that will shut a lot of the government down.
The president summoned his whole cabinet for a meeting this afternoon to talk about an orderly process for closing down non-essential government operations. By Tuesday, some 800,000 of the government's 2.1 million federal workers could be put on unpaid leave. And though all national security and emergency operations would continue, many other offices would operate with skeleton staffs. National landmarks like the Washington Monument would be closed. New claims for veterans benefits and Social Security would not be processed, though checks would keep going out for current recipients. The White House insists the shutdown is preferable to accepting drastic cuts Republicans are demanding.
Don't put a gun to the head of the president and the head of the country and say, you don't accept our priorities. You don't accept what we want to do to Medicare and Medicaid or what we want to do to education. We're going to blow you apart. That's a form of terrorism. We are not going to accept that.
At the Capitol, Republicans said it's the president who won't negotiate, and it will be his fault if government shuts down.
He apparently went and took the course in political science about winning the office, and then skipped the course about being president.
The choice will be his. If the government shuts down, his fingerprints are going to be all over.
The gentleman from Florida is recognized.
It got so bad at one point, Democrats accused Republicans of trying to shut down the Commerce Department for racist reasons.
You all nurtured it. You hugged it. You put your best people in it. But now that there's a black man in charge of it, you decide you want to abolish it.
Finally, tonight, the Republicans sent the president a letter saying they want to keep the government operating and that he should be meeting with them instead of meeting with his cabinet to plan on shutting it down. Rita?
Well, there's no telling how long it's going to take this little drama to play out, but the White House is even talking about canceling or shortening the president's scheduled trip to Japan next week, Dan.
Rita Braver and Bob Schieffer, thanks. A central figure in this budget mess, House Speaker Newt Gingrich, is also back in the spotlight tonight as a potential Republican presidential candidate following Colin Powell's decision to stay out, at least for now. Gingrich says he is still thinking about getting into the presidential race. CBS News correspondent Phil Jones has a report.
For weeks, Bob Dole had to answer Colin Powell questions. Today, it was, what about Newt Gingrich? Fantastic? Well, everybody laughed for the record, and Gingrich enjoyed it so much, he quipped to Dole, I'd really put you in the center. Extreme conservatives like Richard Viguerie weren't laughing. They were applauding the idea of a Gingrich run for president.
If Gingrich were to announce, I think overnight, the vast majority of the conservative movement in this country would jump on board Gingrich's presidential campaign.
Republicans have been watching Gingrich flirt with the presidential race since last June when he went to New Hampshire and managed to share, if not steal, the weekend headlines from President Clinton.
Let's shake hands right here in front of everybody.
Some have urged Gingrich to get in, and others, like conservative Jack Kemp, think he should look at it. But ask Kemp point blank if Gingrich should get in.
I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
And why not?
I like him very much. I think he's made an enormous contribution to the party, to the country.
A CBS News poll taken after yesterday's Powell announcement shows only 15% of the Republicans favor Gingrich over Dole. Kathy Frankovic, director of CBS News Surveys.
Well, the polls show that most Americans have made up their minds about Newt Gingrich, and overall, by 2-1, they don't particularly like him. They have an unfavorable view of him.
And the members of the House Ethics Committee going behind closed doors again today is a reminder that Gingrich could have big problems with the investigation into his outside book deal. A Gingrich campaign seems unlikely, but as one Republican put it, the speaker wins any way it goes. Either a Republican gets elected or he has Bill Clinton to kick around for 4 more years. Bill Jones, CBS News, Washington.
There are growing demands from Congress and elsewhere tonight for President Clinton to pull the plug on Energy Secretary Hazel O'Leary. And White House officials themselves are demanding that O'Leary give a full and fast account of why she spent thousands of taxpayer dollars to investigate and identify friends and foes in the press. Eric Ingberg has that story.
Did somebody bring you up to speed on this?
Raising Washington's spin doctoring and PR to new levels, Energy Secretary Hazel O'Leary hired a private firm to identify reporters and sources who were friendly or unfriendly to her troubled department. Evoking memories of Nixonian enemies lists, the revelation in today's Wall Street Journal brought congressional demands for her removal.
The Secretary of Energy should not remain in office one more day, not one more hour, not one more minute.
Ominously, the White House asked O'Leary for a full report.
I want to give her the opportunity to present me with that report before making any further decision.
The work that was contracted was to do an analysis of how our message was received.
But you understand?
No enemies list, no gumshoes.
Crime International.
Karma, the company hired by DOE, used computers and a 100-point scale to rate news stories as being favorable, unfavorable, or neutral. Dozens of reporters and people quoted in stories were identified by name and ranked.
What'd they pay you?
I believe the total amount of the project was about $43,000, which in government terms is not a significant amount of money.
Jerry Taylor, who was ranked unfavorably as a news source, said price wasn't the issue.
This is the sort of thing that is an outrage in a free society. It's got a chilling effect on discourse, and Hazel O'Leary ought to resign.
Tony Batt was one of the reporters on the list.
It's almost Orwellian. Certainly something that we don't expect in a democratic society where we have a free press.
Aides say O'Leary herself didn't read many of the media reports because they were too complicated. What's also gotten complicated as a result of this flap is her own future in the cabinet. Eric Ingberg, CBS News, Washington.
Still ahead, new debate over Dr. Jack Kevorkian's latest assisted suicide. Was the patient really terminally ill? And later, if you're one of the many Americans who finds a little night music is keeping you up, this could be just what the doctor ordered.
I'm just not comfortable anymore.
Really?
I'd like something more contemporary, with more of the luxury, security, and room we've worked so hard for.
So you want a new house?
No, a Cadillac DeVille.
Now DeVille is better than ever because now it has the North Star system and its extraordinary combination of comfort, safety, security, and performance. Nothing else feels like DeVille from Cadillac.
But it would look great in a new driveway.
This is big. It's Red Lobster's Lobster Fest. Enormous rocktails, irresistible maintails. There's just one word for a fest this big. Huge. Lobsters everywhere. Lobster Fest.
Hurry to Red Lobster tonight.
New design. Full walking shoe cushioning. No boundaries. Easy spirit. Inside's our walking shoe. Outside's the whole world.
Balkan peace talks in Ohio produced their first agreement today. Bosnia and Croatia are said to have approved a plan to unify the city of Mostar, divided since bitter fighting between Muslims and Croats in 1993. U.S. Secretary of State Christopher will go back to Dayton tomorrow to try to push the talks further. PLO Chief Yasser Arafat traveled to Israel today for a secret condolence call on the widow of Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. It was his first visit to Israel since the peace process began. Israel's police minister now says he believes Rabin's assassination was a right-wing conspiracy, but they've still only charged one man. Correspondent Bob Simon has the latest.
The killer, Yigal Amir, said he acted alone, but as police hauled more suspects into court today, they said he was part of a well-planned conspiracy. The arrested were all men in their 20s, all from the religious right. This one, the man in the middle, pictured here in better days, leads a paramilitary outfit.
We think that they established a form of organization to assassinate the Prime Minister.
This is how Israelis deal with Arabs who throw rocks at Jews. It gets worse once they're in custody, a lot worse. The former chief of the Secret Service here admitted to CBS News today that in the past, his forces would not and could not use these methods against the most rabid Israelis.
No, we didn't use them with Jews. I wish that the service will get the authority to use the same means, if needed, against Jews.
But it's clear now that it's needed, isn't it?
Yeah. The time had come.
The Secret Services now say they're investigating rabbis who may have provided religious sanction for the murder. They will not have far to look. On October the 4th, these rabbis stood outside Rabin's home and cast a curse on the Prime Minister, calling for his death. They said the curse usually works within 30 days. Rabin died on November the 4th.
When your prayers are received and fulfilled, don't you feel good about it?
A disproportionate number of the most fanatical Israelis are immigrants from the United States. Many today were venerating the killer.
The man who did it is definitely a righteous man.
But among the mourners for the late Prime Minister were the mother and father of Yigal Amir. We gave you love and warmth, she said, but you betrayed us. Today, you are a stranger to me. And while she wept, police discovered enough explosives in the house and garden to blow up the entire neighborhood. Bob Simon, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Greek police posing as TV newsmen foiled a hijacking in Athens today. An Ethiopian man seized an Olympic Airlines jet, held a flight attendant at knife point, and demanded to speak to the press. Police sneaked aboard with the reporters and overpowered the man. No one was injured. The hijacker was an Ethiopian who'd been deported from Australia and didn't want to go back to Ethiopia. Coming up, correspondent David Martin on a new case of sexual assault in the Navy and drawing the line on the worst of the TV talk shows.
Presto has a great idea.
Salad shooter helps you every day.
Presto has a great big idea. Professional salad shooter slicer shredder. Big capacity, holds a lot, shoots a lot. Powerful, fast, a variety of cutting blades so you can point and slice thick, slice thin, shred right into the bowl, even ripple cut. Chop, grate right where you want. Clean up easy, dishwasher safe, store anywhere.
Salad shooter.
Original, professional, and now professional salad shooter plus from Presto.
I was coming down with something. It felt like a cold, but it could have been my allergies. So I called my doctor. He recommended Dimetap Extend tabs. He said a recent study showed its antihistamine is more effective than a leading prescription. Turns out Dimetap is strong medicine. Relieved my sneezing and congestion, and didn't make me as drowsy as Benadryl. Cold or allergy, Dimetap works. Doctors say Dimetap, for good reason.
If you've been drinking Ensure, there's a little something you should know. Sustacal has more protein, less fat, and about twice as much calcium. No, Sustacal can't add years to your life, but it might help add life to your years.
Giving your congressman an earful? Fine if it's your idea, but what if it's Jack Bonner's idea?
We're paid to move votes.
He moves votes all right with a slick operation and a massive phone bank.
They are manufacturing public opinion where none exists.
High-tech lobbying or a low-down way to steal your political voice? Time for a reality check tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
The U.S. Navy has been knocked off course again by another storm of alleged sexual assault. Navy criminal investigators now are looking into accusations that a senior enlisted man abused a female shipmate as 2 officers failed to intervene. David Martin at the Pentagon has more about this.
The latest case of sexual abuse in the Navy happened in plain view on a cross-country American Airlines flight. Crew members of the USS Gompers were returning to their base in California last month when a 23-year-old female sailor says Chief Petty Officer George Powell sexually assaulted her, and her shipmates did little to stop him.
If true, the way it was reported, that's a real failure. It's a failure of leadership. It's a failure of intervention by people who could have intervened.
Chief Petty Officer Powell had already been court-martialed for sexual assault 3 years ago. He should have been kicked out then if the Navy meant what it said about refusing to tolerate sexual abuse.
For those who cannot or will not get the message that we're serious about zero tolerance of sexual harassment, we're going to discharge you.
According to the female sailor's account, she fell asleep, and when she woke up, Powell's hand was between her legs. She told him not to touch her again. He said it was all right since he outranked her. He grabbed her breast and said, "Honk." She slapped him and pushed him to the floor. At that point, an officer, the ship's chaplain, sat down between them and, according to the woman, scolded her for striking her molester. In fairness to the chaplain, it's not clear he realized all that had happened. The chaplain claims he ordered Chief Powell to report to security officers when the plane landed. But instead, Powell left the airport and went on vacation. Because of this incident, the Chief of Naval Operations is ordering a Navy-wide stand-down, a day on which all training stops, and as he put it, we take a hard look at ourselves. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
Continuing questions tonight in Michigan over the actual condition of a woman who took her own life in an apparent assisted suicide. She died yesterday as Dr. Jack Kevorkian looked on. A medical examiner now reports he saw no signs of fatal illness. As correspondent John Roberts reports, Kevorkian flatly rejects that finding.
I never act without medical data. That's the first thing I require of a patient.
Dr. Jack Kevorkian maintains Patricia Cashman was suffering from terminal cancer. Medical records he gave to CBS News indicate breast cancer had spread to her skull, lower spine, and ribs, causing excruciating pain.
Forget the cancer. That to me is irrelevant in her case. Her case is the pain. It had destroyed her life.
Patricia Cashman's body was left at the Oakland County morgue in a car registered to Jack Kevorkian. She had died of carbon monoxide poisoning. In July, the California woman had written Kevorkian saying, "Thank God that I now know you will help me. What a load off my mind. Thank you so very much." The deputy medical examiner who performed the autopsy on Cashman said that there was no evidence of cancer.
The physician who is examining in his right mind would not qualify this patient to be a terminal.
But the ME's office hasn't yet done critical microscopic examination of bone tissue. Kevorkian says this is all a political ploy by the chief medical examiner to discredit him.
He's not a real physician. He's a political hack.
The county prosecutor denies using the ME's report against Kevorkian, but says he wants the suicide doctor off the streets.
We wanted Dr. Kevorkian under house arrest.
What part did you play in Patricia Cashman's?
No, he's not answering the question.
Just a minute.
I said he's not answering the question.
I heard the question.
Kevorkian won't say if he helped Cashman to die. Under Michigan law, whether she was terminally ill would have no effect on possible charges. But prosecutors say the possibility that a healthy person sought out Kevorkian is another reason assisted suicide can never be legalized. John Roberts, CBS News, Detroit.
Marcia Clark, the author, may soon be considerably out-earning Marcia Clark, the prosecutor. Publishing sources said today that Viking will pay Clark about $4 million to write a book about the O.J. Simpson murder trial. The book, it is said, will come out next fall.
Newest Black & Decker Dustbuster. With twice the power as before, It'll pick up more than you think. The Black & Decker Dustbuster. More power, more pickups.
When was the last time you played in the rain? Let your hair go wild. Flexed your muscles to the world. Stayed up past your bedtime. When was the last time you really had fun in a car? Riviera by Buick. Go ahead. Express yourself. It's a great time to be silver because you're over 50 and you haven't lost your edge. Now there's a Centrum made just for you. Centrum Silver for your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver. It's a great time to be silver.
Anacin, more relief than the regular strength of Bayer or Tylenol. Anacin, when you really got a headache.
Let's see what's going on next door. Oh, cats. So they get the satin pillow, we get the old shoe. When I gotta go, I get shown the back door like some animal. Mommy's little hairball gets the private box with the scoop away litter. Scoop away so state-of-the-art it clumps where she wets. They scoop away the clump and bam, Pookie's box is fresh and clean. Me, I'm sharing a rusty hydrant with every mutt in the cul-de-sac. Aw.
Scoop Away, the litter that's day one clean every day.
Sandra Bullock is there. So is Samuel Jackson and author John Grisham. See the explosive story that brought them all together on an all-new 48 Hours tonight.
Hundreds of thousands of Americans living in homes with leaky plastic pipes are now entitled to share in a $950 million settlement. A judge in Tennessee today approved the settlement, covering homeowners in 21 states who bought polybutylene pipes made by Shell Oil Company and Hearst Celanese. The manufacturers still insist the problem isn't the pipes, but instead is poor insulation. I should say poor installation. Word tonight about a very different problem with pipes, but also affecting millions of Americans. This one won't keep you up worrying at night, but it's often an ordeal for someone close to you. Could there be a quick and simple solution to snoring? Dr. Bob Arnott has this eye-opener for those who want to pump down the volume.
Look closely at 49er wide receiver Jerry Rice. You see what looks like a Band-Aid on his nose. Called Breathe Right, many athletes wear it in the belief that
it opens your nasal passage and it makes it a little bit easier to breathe.
Now with FDA approval, the manufacturer of Breathe Right wants to move it from the playing field into the bedroom to treat an age-old problem, snoring. Company president Dr. Daniel Cohen also acts as pitchman.
I've got chronic nasal breathing problems. I've used it every night for 3 years, and I wouldn't go to bed without it.
Here's how it works. Breathe Right is applied halfway down the nose. Its spring-like action pulls open nasal passageways at their narrowest points, smooths the flow of air, which decreases snoring.
Each time you hear somebody do that, that's a brief interruption in their sleep. And
Dr. Neil Cavey is a sleep expert and treats snoring, sometimes with Breathe Right.
if the individual snoring is of the type that will be improved upon by opening up the nasal passages a little bit, then it will have impact.
But ear, nose, and throat specialists warn that most serious snoring is not caused by blocked nasal passages.
I don't think that this is the definitive answer for the majority of patients with snoring.
If you have a stuffy nose from a cold, flu, or allergy, Breathe Right may decrease your snoring. But for severe snoring problems that keep you or your bed partner awake, you need a thorough evaluation by your doctor. Dr. Bob Arnott, CBS News, New York.
Managing a family's tough business. There are deadlines, cash flow issues.
Milk money. But moms don't get sick days.
So for coughs, they trust Robitussin. Now Mom can handle crucial management decisions.
Can we keep him?
Robitussin, recommended by Dr. Mom.
This is big. It's Red Lobster's Lobster Fest. Enormous rocktails, irresistible maintails. There's just one word for a fest this big. Huge.
Lobsters everywhere.
Lobster Fest.
Hurry to Red Lobster tonight.
Being a good neighbor to me means that I have a relationship with somebody already,
and that I'm somebody that they can count on. So when you come into our Service Dog store for our Good Neighbor sale, you're going to be able to count on me. The Good Neighbor sale is going on right now. You're going to find really good buys on products from Thorson. When you come into our store, you're going to be met with a friendly smile. You're going to find value, and we're going to go the extra mile for you. Bye.
I know what I like and don't like. I don't like irregularity. It slows me down. I don't like harsh chemical laxatives. I like natural. I like Metamucil natural fiber therapy. It won't artificially stimulate your insides with harsh chemicals. I don't like those. Mixes easy, goes down easy. A safe and easy way to get the extra fiber I need. And it works just the way I expect from Metamucil, to get the body up and running. I like that.
Metamucil, the natural choice for regularity.
How would your dentist recommend you clean your teeth? The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover has been clinically proven to clean teeth better than a manual toothbrush. Its unique cup-shaped brush head removes plaque from deep between teeth and even below the gum line, leaving your teeth so clean you can feel it. And now kids can start brushing better too, with a model designed just for them. The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover cleans better than a manual toothbrush.
Many Americans have been saying for a while that they've had enough of outrageous talk shows on daytime TV. Now at least one station has pulled the plug on syndicated sleaze. Correspondent Edie Magnus is following the trend.
Today on Jenny Jones, here's Sherry in her wedding dress. More sex, more strange behavior. More of just the kind of thing that outrages Dino Corbin, manager of a local television station in Chico, California.
And I said, you don't have to hit me with a 2x4. I'm taking it off. Enough is enough.
Now Dino is Chico's man of the hour.
Hey, way to go.
The first station executive to dump a high-rated, nationally syndicated talk show mid-season.
The talk shows have been trying to outdo each other and sinking deeper and deeper into the gutter. And I did not contract for that.
Oprah Winfrey agrees things have gone too far, telling TV Guide this week she's ashamed of some of her own shows. The producers of Jenny Jones say they're trying to be responsible, promising content changes, quote, whenever we feel there is a valid need to do so. Dino Corbin isn't impressed. He's offering reruns of Murphy Brown and MASH instead. And in Colorado Springs, another television executive has threatened to pull the plug on Carney, Jenny, and Maury Povich if the shows aren't cleaner by year's end.
It's like the Chinese water torture treatment, right? Drip, 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 drip. It keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and finally you say, this is nuts. What do we got this garbage on the air for?
Big advertisers are turning up the heat, too. Powerhouse Procter & Gamble told CBS News today it has pulled millions of dollars worth of ads from 4 talk shows. Sears and Unilever also say they're spending less on daytime talk. The station execs say they're not worried about losing money by dropping popular talk shows. They say this is about principle. Of course, Dan, it doesn't hurt a station's ratings to be getting a lot of press on this issue.
Thanks, Edie. That's part of our world tonight. Coming up a little later on this CBS station, go behind the scenes as movie makers bring back painful memories about racial prejudice and violence in a small southern town. 48 hours, Lights, Camera, Canton. Tonight at 10/9 Central Time. Dan Rather reporting for the CBS Evening News. I'll see you again soon on 48 Hours.